Friends, hi, hello, how are you? It is another week and another meal plan that we are cooking together. And guess what? We got 5 days this week. Let's get into it. Caution: watching the following content may cause extreme hunger. Viewer discretion is advised.
Other symptoms may include stomach growling, hunger outbursts, mouth watering, increased salivation, impulse grocery shopping, increased desire to cook, increased want to come to my house that will not happen, increased hitting that subscribe button, increased hitting that like button, and increased to leaving a comment. Please do all of the above.
All right, now that we got the disclaimers out of the way, we are starting the week off with crack chicken sandwiches. This was a new one for me. I've had this on my menu plan for a while now, but we are doing this in the crock pot. So I just took, it was roughly like a pound and a half, 2 pounds chicken. We are going to season it heavily with ranch seasoning. And then we're going to throw in half a block of cream cheese. Mine was a little hard on the end because I had opened it and used the other half for something else. And we're going to put this bad boy on low for, I did have to double check, for 5 to 6 hours. My chicken was thawed, so I just went with the 5 hours versus the 6. And then I thought this bag would keep the thing clean and be all clever. And you'd think I'd learn my lesson because I've done this before, and whoop! Oh, wait, hold on. I was too soon. There it is. So I did undo this and I thought, I can try to shred it in the bag. Nope, that did not happen. So we ended up dumping it into the crock pot. And then we're going to top it with cheese and bacon bits. I could have done fresh bacon bits. I did not. We let that sit for a little bit and then we put it on some buns and had some waffle fries from the air fryer, and it was pretty good. Definitely some pointers for next time is to do more chicken, more cream cheese, and maybe a little bit of liquid. But then we're going to jump to night 2, and this one everyone was excited for. This is Sloppy Joe casserole. So we are going to cut up an onion. We're going to oil our pan, and then we are going to take about a pound of ground beef. I had a little bit more, and we are just going to cook that up, brown that baby up. So I did use my meat masher in this one. We did season this because I don't think the recipe called for seasoning, so I just did Johnny seasoned salt because I like it better than salt and pepper. And then we're going to add in our onions, and we are going to let that cook. And I promise you, my overhead cabinet lights or under cabinet lights are on their way. So until then, we get yellow kitchen light. We are then going to add in our can of corn, our can of manwich, our can of chicken broth, and then we are going to do our can of diced tomatoes, not drained. And then we're going to fill up halfway on both of those 2 cans, the manwich and the diced tomatoes. And we're going to fill those up with water. Technically, it does call for no water, just chicken stock, but I like to add the water in just because I don't want to open 2 cans of chicken broth. Then we're going to add in the pasta, and we're going to make sure it is nice and submerged. I did add the corn in too soon on this one, but it turned out just fine. So once that's all submerged, we are going to put the lid on and let it boil. Get ready for the bubble. All right, once the pasta is cooked to, as the recipe says, al dente, which just makes me feel fancy, we are going to take our cubed 8 ounces of Velveeta. We're going to pop that in. We're going to let it melt. Once it is all melted, we are then going to go in and stir this in. This recipe is not, we aren't counting any kind of anything in this. It's got Velveeta. It's got pasta. It has got cheese. Once that is all nice and combined, we are going to layer it into a 9x13 greased pan, and then we are going to top it with cheese. And repeat after me, we measure cheese with our hearts. So we're going to top that bad boy with cheese, and then the oven should be preheated for about 350, and we're going to pop this in the oven for about 15 minutes, and it comes out absolutely delicious. This one is a house favorite. Kids and husband both drool over this one. All right, next up, we are going to do pork ribs in the crock pot. Fair warning, your house is going to smell delicious all day long. So we're going to just quarter up or just real chunk up some onions. No fine chop here. Get them all in the bottom of the crock pot. We then are going to layer in our pork ribs. These were on sale if you watched my meal plan and shop with me. So they were on sale for $1.99 a pound, which is fantastic. We then are going to season. We use this Frag Out seasoning. It is a veteran-owned company, so you can check them out. I'll leave them linked down in the description. Season those up real well. Then we're going to take a capful, and when I say capful, I mean that is it, of liquid smoke because this stuff goes a long way, but my goodness, does it make it taste delicious. So liquid smoke in there. Then we are going to sauce these up. Fair warning, I think I did use too much sauce, but is there really such a thing? So I used 2 bottles that have been in our fridge for a while. They needed to be used up, and then I actually did open a third one, which was probably a little overkill, but that's okay. And then once we get all of those ribs covered and smothered and slathered, we're gonna take some water into the 2 bottles that I emptied, and we're just gonna put a little bit, I'm talking like less than a quarter cup in both of them. We're gonna shake them real good, get all the sauce out, and dump that in. We're gonna pop a lid on that. We're gonna let it cook on low and slow 8 hours all day long. The house smelled incredible. Then we're going to do our mashed potatoes. So always remember to salt your water, and then to keep them from boiling over, put a spoon over the top. Once those are done cooking, we're going to drain them off. We are going to stick a full stick of butter and a full 8-ounce block of cream cheese into our big bowl. And if you do not have one of these like pot strainer attachment things, they're a miracle. I bought one on sale at TJ Maxx and I love it. So we're going to stick those hot potatoes in the bowl. We're going to cover the bowl and we're going to let it sit for a while till our butter and our cream cheese is melted. It doesn't take but maybe like 5-10 minutes. Then we're going to season these up, garlic salt, baby, and use a lot of salt. Potatoes need a lot of salt. They absorb a lot, so you want to give them lots of flavor. Then we're going to go in with I've learned to eyeball this over time, but it's about a half a cup of heavy cream. And once that is all in there, we're just going to go to town and hand mix the heck out of this. Be forewarned, it does splatter, and we do keep the skins on, but you could also take the skins off if you wanted to. But look at this. Oh, it had rained all day, so this was like the perfect meal for this day. So good. All right, so then we're going to jump into Thursday. We are cutting up onion and garlic again. Look at us, onion 3 nights in a row. And then I've been using fresh garlic because we had leftovers from making our pickles, but also I need to replace my minced garlic in the fridge. So we're going to chop those up, and then we are going to get a pound of pork sausage cooking up, and then on the back burner we are going to boil a pot of pasta. So I don't know if I said, but this is our creamy rotel pasta. This one's really good. So season your water always, and then put your spoon over the top because that keeps it from bubbling over. And then yes, where's my meat masher? It is in the sink because I didn't want to do the dishes. So get ready for some sizzle action. We got a lot to this week. All right, so once our sausage is nice and browned and crispy, we are going to remove it from the pan and put it on a paper towel. This was pretty lean, so there was not a whole lot of grease that I had to remove, which was lovely. Normally, I would do this in a cast iron as well, but this stuff makes a lot and it overflows easily. So we're going to take about 2 tablespoons of butter, melt it down in the pan, and then we're going to add in our onions and our garlic, and we're going to let those cook. Again, sizzle. All right, so once those are nice and translucent, we're going to turn the heat on low. We're going to take 2 tablespoons of flour. We're going to mix that in real good till all those veggies are coated. And then we're going to go in with our can of Rotel. I use the very mild kind because the kids are going to eat this. And then 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. Yes, that is a lot, but I promise you this pasta is delicious. And because we're cooking the Rotel, it does cook some of the spice out of it. So we are going to stir that, and we are going to turn the heat up a little bit and let that bubble and boil. Little trick here I learned. Once your pasta is drained, to keep it from sticking together, put a little bit of olive oil in there. We use avocado oil, but same thing. Once our heavy cream is bubbly and our sauce starts to thicken, we're going to put in 4 ounces of cream cheese. And you guessed it, cheese that we measure with our heart. Technically, the recipe calls for like 2 cups, but whatever. Then we're also going to season again. It calls for like Chipotle seasoning or something like that. I just use, again, a barbecue seasoning from Frag Out. And we are going to mix and get this all nice and combined. Once the cheese is melted and that cream cheese is nice and combined in there, we are going to add our sausage back in, and we are going to mix it all together. Look at how stringy that is. Ugh, this one is so good. All right, and then we're going to swap places, and we are going to add in our sauce to our pasta. So see what I mean when when I say it gets out of control, it gets out of control. It is a big meal. We have leftovers still, and Cody even took some to work. So it is a big meal. It feeds a lot, but it is delicious, and it's a new favorite in the house. And while I'm mixing, get ready for some surprising farm news. What do you mean? Holy shit, where were those at?
There's 21 of them.
Oh, fuck.
One of them hatched.
Yes, you heard him correctly. We almost had chickens, baby chicks. But once this is all mixed up and it is a arm workout, you're going to dish that up and serve it. You can see here my kids have destroyed the house and I've just given up for this week. So it was definitely a long day. And then on Friday, this is our rushed dinner because we did have preschool orientation this day. And I had been in town grocery shopping and doing all the errands. So I literally flung this together in 5 minutes. So if that tells you how quick this is, this one's quick. Here is that squeeze bottle pizza sauce. It is amazing. Go buy it if you can find it. I bought mine at Winco. It's literally, why it's taken this long in my life to get this, I don't know. So we are going to cheese these up, and then we are going to put on our meats. So we did 2 pepperoni, one for the kids to share and one for Cody and I to share, and then we did 1 Hawaiian. I was almost out of ham, so I did have to rip my ham apart. I only had like 3 pieces left, and I was like, man, we're just going to rip it apart. And then we did put some pineapple on, then we're going to put a little bit more cheese on, and I did cook these at 350 for about 15 minutes, and then I broiled for 5, and they were dynamite. So that concludes this week's Cook With Me. Until next time, spread kindness like glitter. Bye, y'all.